Welcome back to the GallowgateShots YouTube channel. Got the player ratings with me, Emil. Hope your weekend was good. This was a game where Newcastle played the European champions, Premier League runners-up, and the team that are likely to be in the top two, or as this weekend showed, potentially the champions. We lost to Liverpool away from home. And let's crack straight on because we are reacting to a 3-1 defeat at Anfield this week for Newcastle, which is a real shame. We'll start with the man in goal, Martin Dubravka. A new contract expected. Now, in this game, there was a massive error in that second goal, unfortunately, which led to Mane scoring past him. It undid the hard work, but two other goals were just purely down to some Liverpool mastery. Otherwise, he did well in those set plays. That new contract is vital, but in this game, it wasn't a great day for Dubravka. Going to give him a 6. Emil Kraft next, who had a glorious opportunity to draw us level. He looked very weak against a pretty much unplayable Liverpool attack when they got into gear. He does need to improve a little bit on his decision making. You saw Shea getting in his ear a little bit when he was at the back there, so not a cracking performance from Kraft by any means. 4 for him. Manquillo came off the bench. It was a possible case to start next week, I think, but we'll see what happens. Kraft is the new signing. Maybe give him a little bit more time to bed in. Dummett, more of his usual last-ditch stuff on this occasion. He threw himself into a fair few of the set plays when Liverpool were pressing. He was really trying to keep out whatever was coming at him. Unfortunately, again, undone by that Liverpool class in attack. 7 for Dummett. I think he was the best one at the back. Lascelles had a bit of a clumsy display on this occasion. That penalty claim, which, let's be honest, it would have been a penalty on any other day. It could have been another case where he's really putting us under threat. It happened against Tottenham. It's a bit of a case all the time where he's playing with fire. Frustratingly slow as well to get rid of the ball at times. Firmino really showed him up completely, unfortunately, for our captain. But I think it's starting to get to that point where his position is going to be questioned if Lejeune comes back, given the form of the other centre-backs. 5 for Lascelles, onto Shea. Like the rest of the defence, he struggled against that red front line. He looked tired by the end. And we had that unfortunate injury there as well. We did have some moments, against the likes of Salah, but unfortunately, it was just one of those where Shea was a little bit out of his depth against a really good team, let's be honest. 6 for Shea. Fernandes came on in the 80th minute. At least we didn't concede another, so I guess that's job done for Fede Fernandes. Jethro Willems, yes, what a great game. The silver lining that gave us 20 minutes of hope, if that. Excellent skill to score that worldie of a goal. It was a nice little team up with Atsu. Once again, I think them two are forming a nice little relationship. Sadly, similar case in defence. Willems obviously wasn't there all the time for most of it, but it was a bit of a team effort when Liverpool were coming forward. Everyone was in the mix, but Willems unfortunately couldn't stop much. Just on the basis of how good that goal was, I've got to give Willems an 8. He's really, really improving on that first Arsenal performance, which you've got to admire. Hayden, another solid display in the centre, don't you think? He did most of the work, really. A lot of people think that he was making up for what Shelby wasn't doing, which I guess is a case I could agree with. He looked shattered by the end, due to his tenacity. Hayden is just non-stop at the moment. He won tackles, battled to keep us in it. Unfortunately, wasn't enough, but Hayden deserving of his 8 this week. It's a consistent showing from the man in the middle. Shelby, who we've just mentioned there, did have some moments of nice link-up play between him and the attack. Almiron, Joelinton. He didn't do enough getting back as ever. He did look a bit slow when Liverpool were breaking through the ranks. Pretty poor attempt wasted from his own half as well, which got an entire sigh across the northeast, I think. Shelby gets 7. I don't think it was a terrible game, and given that he's coming for Longstaff, fair play, he tried a few things, but Still on the fence, I think. Atsu really making the most of that opportunity. You cannot fault him right now. He's looking great going forward. It's almost like a new signing. Everyone said this injury he was harnessing last year was holding him back, and apparently he is playing like a new man. He's linking up with Willems for the goal, as I mentioned. He set up Kraft for that chance that he missed. Did Oxlade-Chamberlain over completely there. So Atsu, again, another 8 in the team. Almiron, right, okay, so high work rate, but there was some nice breaks to speed up the play. He was coming up with a few ideas, running around quite a lot of the time, but he otherwise struggled to bring a spark to the proceedings. Now, I am not on the bandwagon of saying how bad Almiron's been for us, of saying he's brought nothing to that team, because believe me, he brought so much to that team at the end of last year, and I think it is only just the start of what we're going to see. Tough opposition to prove himself in a week where he's had all the papers and critics on his back. Leave the lad alone. Give him 6 on this occasion, because it wasn't his best performance. Muto came on, frustratingly offside at the wrong moments. Seeing this a lot from Muto. He's trying. You've got to give him that, and I think this season we will see a lot more from him, but yeah, unfortunately, again, similar to Almiron, it's a tough team for Muto to go on and provide all the goods. I think that any other team that we were playing, we might have stood a chance. Joe Linton, at last, some excellent hold-up play here. It was Rondon-esque. Van Dijk did keep him quiet. You saw that excellent challenge. You're talking about Champions League defenders here. Joe Linton is finding his feet in the Premier League still. He was unlucky to have been offside for that second glorious opportunity after Willems had scored, and it could have been a goal. It's just a shame, isn't it, that it's not really clicking at the right time. But we have had a tough run in, and Joe Linton's had an uneasy start to the Premier League. 7 for him. All in all, what did we really expect from a game against Liverpool? Nice play, but it's really tough to keep Liverpool down when they're just on the rampage. There was no way Klopp was going to let them lose against Newcastle United, and I know that these things happen. I know we beat Tottenham, but we were undone by some Firmino magic off the bench. We saw that wonder goal from Willems, and in any other game, you know, it's kind of that situation where we could have played better had it been the likes of Brighton who have got on Saturday. So it's hard to judge us against not just a top 6 side, but a team who really can't afford to drop a point. And given the way that Man City lost against Norwich, Liverpool are on course now. So let's not get too carried away with the fact that Newcastle just lost to Liverpool, because it was 3-1, and at least it wasn't 4-0. Simple as that. I will see you next time. See you for Brighton when we can cry together, probably.